Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. So, today, this is going to be another video just kind of talking about some of my collection. The first video that I did was of the Mari Big Bear, and that kind of encompassed like all the reproduction parts and shit that I'm making for it. You can see I got a decent sized collection, a lot of different kinds of trucks. And there's even some up there that are works in progress. But oh yeah, don't mind the prop weapons from Halo and Star Wars. Those are for another day when I decide to go about and talk about some of just the random things I've done. So like I said, the last video I was talking about the Mari Big Bear. Awesome little vintage truck, I love the thing. So today I kind of want to go over and talk about a couple other trucks that I got. The Traxxas Sledgehammer. So if you've watched the video of the quick little history I did of the Traxxas Sledgehammer, you'll know that they were made in the 80s, and they were just a really cool looking truck. I mean, this one is obviously a little different, but I do have the originals pulled up on my laptop. So here we got on the laptop going, and let's see, that's a good photo. That is what one basically would look like when you bought it brand new back in the day. I believe that is a third gen or third release. It's got the black all the black plastic and the blue anodized pieces on the bottom. But it came with this, you know, kind of Chevy-looking body. Let's see, where's another one? There's another one. Yeah. It kind of had these tires. They had little knobs on the end of them, so they were kind of like an earlier rendition of the tires Traxxas was putting on the Stampedes when the Stampede first came out. Let's see, yeah, because here's a Stampede on eBay. But yeah, see the tires. So the ones that originally came on the Sledgehammer are basically earlier versions of the Stampede's tire. So to start off with, here's the basic layout. This is a first release chassis. The chassis itself didn't change between the releases, just the plastic they used and the colors. So the white chassis came with this weird electronic speed control. It's a good setup. I mean, it works really well. It's plenty of space. Fit decent batteries in there. If you try and find these now, though, you're gonna run into a lot of issues because this rolled white plastic here, this stuff, I can't zoom in on that picture. Crap. Let's see. There's one with the box, but the old white plastic can get very brittle, so some joints, if you find them nowadays, you may have to watch out for some of the joints because they have a tendency to snap. The black plastic, not so much. It was a different compound, but either way. So, with that, this is one of mine. This is my Sledgehammer dubbed the Grim Reaper. I picked this up off of eBay, and the guy painted the body, did a really good job. It came out really nice. I like it. So now that the body's off, I've got, as you can see, I've got lights in here. So as you can see from the old plastic, it's a little faded, a little worn. Especially right here, this part's kind of brittle. You can see it's like stress cracking. So, I mean, I do run these fairly often. I run both of mine, but there's just some little upgrades that I do to them. So these came with these body mounts that are on springs. Weird idea, but not a bad concept, because essentially when you roll the truck over, it would just spring around so it doesn't damage the Lexan body too much. I buy these generic shocks for almost everything in whatever color that I want to do. So like on this one I've got the red to match the Grim Reaper theme. So this design, I find this design really cool. I kind of wish they had gone with it on the Stampede, but you can see this design influence on the X-Max, not the X-Max, the E-Max and the T-Max, and I believe even the Sport Max, but I haven't seen one of those in a long while. But it kind of does give it that real retro monster truck feel. The old monster trucks having the twin shocks. I mean, it's just really smooth in the front. In the back, it's a little tighter, mainly because it's got all this extra stuff with the motor, the drive shafts. Now, after I started driving this one around a little bit when I got it running, yes, I did update it with a brushless system. This thing is running a pretty ridiculous system. This brushless system is, what is that, 4370 kV. The red and white system, I had this one, I got this and I had it lying around, so I figured why not? It's red and white, it goes with the theme a little bit. So, but when I started driving it, it had the original white drive shafts, and that little output yoke right there snapped. I think I might actually still have. Yes, I do. So as you can see, it snapped. Now the problem is Traxxas. These parts have been discontinued for a long time now, and you can't really find these anymore. But Traxxas also went with a different design. This is the earlier version of their two-wheel drive transmission that they put in all of their two-wheel drive trucks, the Slash, the Rustler, the Stampede, the Bandit. Those drive shafts are actually from a modern Bandit. The only thing is I was able to find the black plastic version of the output cup. So let me take off this cover here. So this style, it's similar to what you find on the modern trucks. However, it is an earlier version. It's got a slightly different planetary gear and the planetary diff gear, slightly different design. Eventually, I'm gonna have to try and figure out if the modern ones that go in the two-wheel drive Stampedes will fit in here, and if they use the same pitch gears. I'm not too positive on. I think it's 32 pitch in this truck, and I think all the modern ones are 48 pitch, so I'm not too sure if the gear mesh will line up. If I were ever to need to replace these again and can't find them, and if I were to have to go to the newer style, I would have to change the planetary inside the diff, and that could be a hassle, but something I'm gonna have to deal with because, again, I love these vintage trucks. As for like everything in here, neither of these that I have came with the battery tie down, so I'm gonna have to like 3D print one. Yeah, I've got the Q5 up and running again after some quick maintenance. The Aquila, I'm still waiting to get a couple of thermostats in because this one decided it wanted to shit out on me. That's the one that goes in the little heat element here. So I may have to print a battery hold down. But as of right now, I mean, I do drive these trucks around, but I don't heavily bash them or race them. I just kind of like leisure drive. Steering servo, again, a design that has transferred over to the modern trucks. Just the placement of the servo with, you know, the servo saver. You'll see this whole setup basically is what transferred to a lot of the modern trucks. So you can see that is the stock servo that came with this, I'm pretty sure, or at least that's the one that came in this truck when I bought it. The bulkhead up front again, slightly different design, but this truck is basically what inspired the Stampede and everything else. Traxxas used a lot of the elements from this truck and refined them, so you can still see. Now, when I got this one, it did have all of the original electronics in it, but I couldn't get them to work, and they wouldn't run. The batteries that I use would cause them to burn up, so that's the main reason why I switched to a brushless system, was just to alleviate any problems with that. So, this is the Grim Reaper, and now that the body's back on, this thing just looks awesome. So here's Monster Patrol. This is my other Sledgehammer. So this one I picked up had no electronics but the servo in it, and I believe I may have swapped that out because I couldn't get it to work. I think I may have put that servo in there. I am not exactly positive. I don't quite remember. But now here's Monster Patrol. This one I believe is a first release because it's the white and gold, whereas the Grim Reaper is white and black. I think that one's the second release. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but here we go. Again, the aluminum shocks that I put on everything. This one doesn't have a gear cover, so this one doesn't see much dirt, but it will see like hard-packed clay, grass, and pavement, because I just don't want to chance those gears before I can print up a cover. Some of the body mount springs were missing, so whatever I had just lying around I made do, and until I can take the time to print this piece here, I've got it glued and then wrapped in electrical tape to hold it tightly. That's another. After the Big Bear reproduction parts are done, I am going to be printing reproduction parts for this truck, because again, everything's discontinued, and I've got two of them obviously, so I kind of want to be able to keep parts around for these trucks. Not an original body. This one I picked up at a competition and painted it to look like Monster Patrol. I got a hobby fan brushless system in here. I think that's a, let's see, what size is that? It's a 4370 kV, just like the Grim Reaper. And these things move. They do not like to keep the front wheels on the ground. They like to wheelie a lot. So, and again, when I got this one, it didn't come with the battery hold down, so I'll have to print one of those. But yeah, similar condition. I picked this one up for a lot cheaper though. This one actually came from a buddy of mine instead of eBay. He had it sitting around, he didn't know what he was going to do with it, so I was like, hey, how much you want for it? Boom, done. So now with the body back on, yeah. If you can find these trucks, they're on eBay right now, there's a bunch of them. But people are wanting all sorts of crazy prices for them because, again, they're discontinued, you can't find them anymore. And they are really cool trucks to have and to drive. It's a little weird when you're driving and you see the body doing all this kind of crazy stuff. It's kind of hilarious, but, you know, they are fun. They can be very fast. Like, that's whatever the gearing came with this truck, with these brushless motors in them, they are fast. Like, ridiculously fast. When I tried to test this one, I had my phone up here taped to the body. I think it got up to 28 before I went from about quarter throttle to full. The wheels picked up and it threw my phone off of the truck. Now I've got a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and yeah, I was not too thrilled to see my phone thrown from the truck, but luckily I have a good case and a good screen protector, so the phone's just fine. But yeah, it does not want to keep the wheels on the ground, and it is fast. And so the same thing will go for this one, because I got the same size motors, just about the same gearing, and they weigh the same. So thanks for sticking around and watching throughout the video. Again, those are my twin Traxxas Sledgehammers. So, if you like this kind of content, and you like some of the other content that I have, stick around, because I try and post pretty regularly, about every other day, or every third day whenever I get a chance, whenever I get some time to sit down and film, or take some of my older stuff from TikTok and try and transfer it over. Just try and keep something coming, so that way there's always something new. Stick around, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified for all videos, and if you have any questions about anything RC related, Gundam related, 3D printing related, feel free to message me on any of the social medias. Links are all down in the description below, or you can feel free to email me directly at that email in the description below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have about any of these topics. So feel free, stick around, have fun, and enjoy.